And I hope you excuse my voice. I'm a little under the weather today, but I will show you a picture of me. There I am. You can go to sewpreneur.com and follow along. This one-page business plan is a free template that I've been giving out all of the month of November and December of 2022. So come on over, join the newsletter. Again, it's free. And we will go ahead and get started. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. And as soon as I'm over this cold, I will be back to see you. All right, so you would have received a an empty template that's similar to this one. All right, and I have this filled out. This is from my old LLC. Um, It was Sewing with STEAM LLC. I had that for a couple years, and I went ahead and changed the name to Memory Bears and Keepsakes LLC this past month. And as you can see, I have writing all over this. That's what I do. I write over everything. So if you bear with me, get it? Pun right there, bear, memory bears. Anyways, follow along with me and get some ideas for your own keepsake sewing business. Some of this might be helpful for you. If it does, I think that's great. Write your notes and keep this in your binder. One thing that I do is I have this binder planner for sale in my Amazon shop. And then I also have one for sale in my Etsy shop. And the links are below this video and in the newsletter. So I also keep a business binder right here. And that's where I keep all of my business information. All right, so we will go ahead and just get started on this. The identity of your business. So, right here, I'll just read what I had. And I said, Sewing with STEAM LLC provides high quality, fair family heirloom keepsakes out of your favorite clothing or fabric. So that's the identity of the LLC that I had. And it's pretty generic. You can use that if you'd like to, but I always recommend to my students that you don't be generic, that you actually be more specific on who your business is and what you provide. But don't overthink it either. So you don't want to get stuck like frozen on any one of these. You can come back and change it because just like any business plan, it's active, it's ever changing. And just the idea is to set aside some time and work through each one of these little squares. They're small squares on purpose because I don't want you to overthink this initial process. All right, so I'll hold the camera over that one. The next one is the problem. Now, what kind of problem are you solving with your LLC? As a keepsake business owner, one possible problem, and there's more than this problem, but this is one of the most used problems they um, come to us is, people are looking for high quality, fair family heirloom gifts using their favorite clothing or fabric. Again, it's a generic problem, but you can feel free to go ahead and use it because it does sum up the solution to a problem that they are coming to you for. The solution, right, to the problem: we turn your favorite fabrics or clothing into heirlooms, such as memory bears, blankets, pillows, and ornaments. So that's a solution to the problem. And again, you can rewrite these in your own way, just to make it for you. All right, your target market would be adults 18 and over, but I went ahead and specified parents and grandparents. That's your target market. So your target market should be somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're more comfortable working with um, younger adults, then I say market towards the younger adults going to college or newlyweds. Or maybe you only want to work with new parents, or maybe you just want to work with a certain location, like the Villages in Florida or Sun City in South Carolina. Think about where you're comfortable working and focus on that area. All right, competition. All right, so do you have competitors? And I just used my own business because competition is strictly around your services and your target market. Not every keepsake sewing business is a competitor. And this is where knowing who you want to serve comes in handy. All right. The next one is revenue streams. And that you can just keep memory bears, but I recommend to all of my students to really think about what they're really good at sewing and what they enjoy sewing. If you enjoy sewing memory bears, then consider offering 2 or 3 different sizes or 2 or 3 different styles of memory bears. But if you can't stand sewing a memory bear and you would rather sew dragons or dogs, then you would want to focus on those products. So think about what you enjoy sewing and put that in the revenue streams block. All right, the next one is marketing activities. And for your business, again, you can put your LLC name right there. You can say Sewing with STEAM LLC will communicate with customers via newsletter, social media, advertising, and publicity. This is just what most businesses do. And again, marketing activities are going to be more specific to your target market. So again, just you can fill this out in a generic form, but you are going to spend most of your time in the target market block that we have right there. That's where you're going to spend most of your time, but don't waste your time. You can still fill out the rest of this template simply by following along with this video. Again, I have to put a disclaimer. I can't give you legal or tax advice. You'll have to go to your own professionals for that. All right, these are some expenses that I jotted down. I said a long arm quilting machine, a Juki sewing machine, embroidery machine, scissors, interfacing. These expenses are going to vary according to your target market and your services. You may not need a long arm quilting machine because perhaps you're not going to offer those services. Maybe you just want a basic sewing machine and some really good scissors. Just jot that down. You can add to this as needed. And don't worry, I'm going to go over this in more depth in just a minute. I want to go ahead and give you the quick cliff notes here in case you're in a hurry. Do you have a team and what are their key roles? Okay, so one moment. Sorry. One thing you want to do is write down your team members and what it is that they are going to do. Right now, I am my own team member, so I just write down, currently the only team member is the owner, Stephanie Grams. As profits increase, our company will look to add employees to help with sales, shipping and receiving, social media, and advertising. And again, you can copy this for your own business plan if you'd like. That's okay. All right, and then the milestone, again, I just said the LLC. As the LLC grows, I would advertise with AARP, Sun City, the Villages on a quarterly basis. Now, again, this is not going to be something that you do. This is just an example. So let me break this down. My LLC, as I grow, I would reinvest the money to advertise with the AARP website, the Sun City newsletter, and the Villages newsletter. How often? On a quarterly basis, where I would take an ad out in their newsletter or on their website. So think about the newsletters that your target market is interested in, or the websites that they're on. That's where you would reinvest your advertising dollars. Now this is super generic, but it's enough. This one-page business plan, once it's filled out, it gets the wheels in your brain turning, and it will help you move forward with planning your entire year. All right, so that's something to, remember. Now, I wanted to talk about each one of these with a few more really good questions to ask yourself. So we will go ahead and go over those notes that I have here. All right, so once you get this filled out, again, this is the free template in the newsletter. So definitely get this, write it out, fill it out, use a pencil if you want to. Just use your LLC name in the blocks to help you really get that proper mindset, because you're not just talking about you, like Stephanie owns this business. You need to put your LLC name there, and it does something for you mentally. It keeps you on track because now you're thinking with a business mindset instead of just being a singular person. I can't explain it any better than that, but it's very helpful. All right, so what will I sell? These are some really good prompting questions, and this would fit as the overview or identity of your business plan. You could just say Keepsake Sewing Services and then dash memory bears. And again, we talked about offering a variety of memory bears or different sizes of the same style. There's all different kinds of ways for you to work this keepsake business. Who will buy it? Like, what is the demographics? Do you know their location, the zip code, their age, things like that? And how will your business idea help people? All right, so how is this going to help? And again, we talked about the problem that customers have with the solution that you're bringing to them. All right, so the money, what will you charge? That's something that we haven't talked about in a little while. And I do have different videos on how to price your services. And you don't want to price per hour, because if you are really slow at making something, you're going to end up overcharging for it. But if you're really fast at sewing something, you could essentially not make money at all. So this is where knowing your competitors and your target market comes into play. If you have a competitor that charges $55 for the basic memory bear, nothing special, right? But within your zip code or your target audience, maybe they're not looking for something $55. Maybe they're looking for something that's over $100 because they see value by the price that is charged. Then you are going to miss out. So you need to know who your target market is and price your services accordingly. That's why if you do a search for any type of memory bears online, right? Let's see if we can come up with some. Where are my key terms? I'll show you some of the keywords here. I know this is a mess, but this is what I teach. If you type in any one of these terms, memory bears, how much is a memory bear, you're going to see prices from $25 clear up to $250. All right. And the reason for that price range may not make sense to you initially, but once you know who your target market is and who you want to work with, then you're going to have a better idea on what to charge. Excuse me. Um, Here's another idea. You may need to charge less than your competitor in order to build your reputation and to gain the experience required to go larger. So that is very important. Keep that in mind because just because you might charge $45 today doesn't mean that your business has to charge $45 for ever. You can always change that. Okay? Now, to continue on money, how are you going to get paid? Will you accept credit cards, cash, checks, money orders, PayPal, Venmo? How are you going to accept payment? I do not accept checks or money orders personally. And if I accept a credit card payment, it needs to be in the name of the customer because there has been horror stories of a customer using their spouse's credit card to make a purchase and the spouse refused, what do they call that, refuted or whatever. They went back to their credit card company and said they did not approve of that purchase, and guess what, the customer kept the goods and they got their money back. So just a little heads up on accepting credit cards. Also, know your policies. You need to know what your policies are, your procedures are, and what your contract says. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay. What are some other ways that you can make money from that memory bear? That is something that is completely in depth, but I will just skim the top of it for you today, and that is by add-ons. Add-ons can be anything that brings value to your customer. Does your customer need something small, like a smaller teddy bear? Um, would they like a pillow or an ornament? Think along the lines of what's complementary to your current service that will bring value to your customer. That is how you can make more money from your projects and by making happier customers along the way. All right, marketing. And if I'm going too fast, please subscribe to the newsletter at sewpreneur.com because we will go through this again. Let me show you where that website is. Sewpreneur.com, that's for the free website. So definitely join me there. All right, how will they find you? All right, marketing is not as easy as it used to be. It can be quite expensive, but there are still some low cost and free ways to market your business, which is number one is word of mouth. You definitely want word of mouth. How do you get that if you're just starting out? Well, you can offer to make a memory bear for free as a gift and then ask them to videotape their reaction. Um, that's one way, which is word of mouth, which definitely is the fastest way to start your business. As always, do not spam anyone. Please do not spam. You can list Marketplace, which I know their Facebook Marketplace is getting overwhelmed with memory bear makers, but this is really important that you know who your customer is, your target market is, and only post in that particular group, okay? You don't want to do across all marketplaces if that is not where your customers hang out. Facebook groups get permission first. That way you don't get kicked out and banned. And word of mouth we just covered. All right, so what about referrals? Referrals is also a big one, but how can you encourage a referral for this kind of business, right? Well, there are a couple ways. First of all, happy customers tell others automatically about their products or the products that they purchased from you. But what you can do, include in your packaging is a referral discount, a special scratch off code. Um, just make sure that you're able to track the information that you send. That way, the discount's only used one time by the proper person. Um, if you want some more ideas on that, we can go through that. Just let me know below. Okay, and so what are the milestones? Like how are you going to know that you are reaching levels of success? That's called KPI, and that is key performance indicators. I know it's a really long word, but it's right here. Key performance indicators. So success is different for everyone, but what does it look like for you? What does success look like for you, right? Is it weekly sales, monthly sales, total sales for the year, or a combination of all of that? What does it look like for you? Is it the number of customers you've served throughout the year? Or maybe the sales per quarter? So, and I don't expect you to have that answer right now. I know that the longer I'm in business, the more KPIs have changed for me. So my KPIs have changed drastically since the very beginning of my first LLC to where my LLC is today. So just write down some ideas. If it's X amount of dollars in a month, write that down. Maybe it's $1,200 in 1 month, or maybe it's $1,200 in 1 week. So write that down and put a date for your KPI. That's why I like to keep all of my business papers, because my success, my KPI, my first year of business, it was in total sales for the year. Then my second year in business was the number of lives I helped. That did not equate in more dollars. I actually did quite a bit of volunteer sewing. And as you can see, year one was money based. Year two was the lives that I helped. And then year three, my key to success was changing the whole outlook of my LLC completely. And now we're going into a complete new year, number four, and my KPI is going to be different than it was for the first 3 years. So that's why I always recommend that you keep all of your business notes, everything that you've changed, keep those. Um, Keep them in the cloud, keep them in a binder, keep them in your dedicated journal. But I think keeping them is very helpful to see your own growth and the market trends. Okay, what are some obstacles and challenges? Well, is there an obstacle or challenge with customer service? Are you worried that you can't answer all of the emails and all of the phone calls yourself? That could be a very big obstacle in your business. So you may want to dedicate a certain hour per day to handle all of that on your own, or find somebody that's willing to come and chip in and help once a day or how often that you need it. Um, how will you handle an unhappy customer? Well, I don't have unhappy customers in my business because they are involved in every single step of the process. That way, we don't have issues at all. I involve my customers from day one until the product is delivered. They know the policies and procedures for the order. They receive pictures throughout the creation of the products that they ordered. Um, I get their feedback before things are sewn together. So definitely stay in communication. That's the best way to say it. Um, Maybe you could write down the possible problems that you see, and that way you can write down the solution to the problem. Remember, every problem has a solution. So if you can come up with the problem, you are able to come up with the solution. Always be thinking, okay, what is the problem? Okay, here's the solution. If it's going to be a shipping problem, that's completely out of your hands. The solution to that is one, Let your customer know ahead of time that, you know what, there's some shipping issues I'm concerned about. I would like to bring this to you today, especially around this time of year. That's why if somebody wants something done for Christmas, it's already too late. October 20th was my cutoff date this year for Christmas. I am still accepting orders, but my customers know, don't expect these before Christmas. If I can get them out to you, that's great, and it's a win for both of us. But the reality with the shipping issues that are out of our control, there's not much that we can do. So you may end up with these after the first of the year. My customers acknowledge that. I have not gotten some sales because of that, and there's just no way around it. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Don't ever do that in your business. That's a surefire way to end up with closed doors. All right, so we went into quite a lot of information today, and I hope this was helpful for you. One thing that I always encourage my students to do is to write down the notes from today, from this video, wherever you need to write it, just wherever you write down your stuff. And I always, like I said, I've been encouraging you throughout this entire video is to have a journal, a book, a notebook, something dedicated just to your business. All right. You want to keep it in writing and keep really good notes. Your business plan will evolve over time. It just happens when your business is growing. That means it's evolving. Set aside a few hours to write out your business plan. So if you want to spend 2 or 3 hours, set a timer and only allow yourself to work that long to fill out your blanks. I encourage my students to revisit their plan every quarter. And I have a quarterly checklist that we will be going over later when we are working together in our binder. This is what I have published in my Amazon book, or Amazon author page is this book. Excuse me. This, you'll see several books. This is the one you will want to get. It's the only one in my book author page that you will want to get to work with. Skip the other ones that I have listed right now. This is the one we're using. We're going to take 1 month to plan your entire year, your 2023. So plan your 2023 with me using this binder. It's for sale right now in Amazon. And we will go through it and fill this out together. I have some notes already in here, which is fine, but we will still do quarters together. Keep your business plan and revisions in one location, in a binder, in the cloud, a journal. This way you can revisit, look back on anything over time. All right, guys, I hope you were able to follow along with this video. Hopefully I will be back in a day or two feeling better. Again, follow along, sewpreneur.com is the business plan. If you're looking for sewing services, you can find me at Memory Bears and Keepsakes LLC.com. As always, Stephanie Grahams, thank you for being with me and have a wonderful day.